What's going on, everyone? This is Halo Reach Tutor, and you've come to the right place if you're looking for tips and tricks to make it through the Oni sword base on Legendary All Skulls On. That's right, the weekly challenge, which is a LASO Oni sword base, is very demanding, but I'm going to give you the tips and tricks that you need to make it on through as quickly and easily as possible. Now, I am going to play through my entire campaign mission. I'm not going to cut anything out. I am going to play it in fast motion because it's about an hour long in regular time, and it's about a half hour long in fast motion. And so I don't want to leave anything out. I want you to see exactly what I do in each part of the mission, and I'm going to be giving you tips and tricks along the way and describing things. Now, the first tip I'm going to give you, you cannot see this in my gameplay, but on my TV I put a little tiny piece of a post-it note right where my reticule would be, okay? And that is an excellent tip because one of the skulls, I believe it is blind, does not allow anything to be displayed here on the screen, including your shields, your health, of course your reticule, which weapons you're carrying. And so that can be very challenging, especially if you're trying to shoot anything, you have no way to aim. So if you put just a little piece of tape or a post-it note or anything like that on your television screen, right where your aim is, then that'll help you, with your aim, and you'll be able to lay a lot of shots on your opponents that way. Okay, so that's an excellent tip, an excellent way to overcome the blind skull. Now, another thing I want to mention right off the bat is that you have the iron skull on. That means that if you're playing on solo and you die, you start the whole thing over again. You don't want to do that, okay? You're never going to complete this thing all by yourself, because if you have to keep restarting all the time, it's never going to happen. You have to bring a friend along, because if you have a friend, what happens with the Iron Skull is if somebody dies, you go back to the most recent checkpoint, but you don't have to start the entire mission over again. So make sure that you bring a friend. Now, with that in mind, let me tell you that 2 is company and 3 is a crowd, okay? You want to play it with exactly 2 people. No more, no less. I'm sure all your buddies all want to get together and all play it together. You don't want to do that. Team up in pairs, okay? Because you have one buddy, and that way you're not going to have to respawn clear back at the beginning of the mission. You can go back to a recent checkpoint. But if you have like 4 people in the mission, that's just too many people, and somebody's going to be dying like all the time. If you have 4 guys in there, it's just too crowded. Somebody's going to be dying left and right, and it's going to be really frustrating. You're going to keep resetting and resetting and resetting time and time again. It'll become very frustrating, okay? So you really want to play it with 2 people exactly. I'm playing it with 3 here. I really did not want to do that, but my friend talked me into it. I'm playing here with, I should mention, this is Bavia0409 and P-Camp. And I really wanted to play with Bavia badly because he's very good and he's a good friend of mine, and so he wanted to do it with P-Camp. So anyway, we got the 3 of us here, but you can do it with 3, you can do it with 4. It's possible. I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's much more challenging the more players you have, okay? So just stick with 2 if you possibly can. So here you can see that we're really taking our time, alright? You don't want to proceed until the enemies have been thinned out. Now, fortunately, the other Spartans like Kat and George and the others later on are really going to be able to thin out the Covenant forces, but you really have to take your time. You cannot get impatient. You just have to wait back, shoot from a distance if you possibly can, and just be extremely patient, okay? Now, once they have thinned them out, a lot of times you can get behind them and just proceed without killing everybody. So that's another tip to keep in mind. You'll see here, one of the tricky things in this section is to get rid of all the skirmishers. Then once all the skirmishers are gone, I'm going to be able to just run right past the elite and head into the bunker in the back. Now, one thing I will recommend is that you just stick with the sprint ability throughout the entire game. Your armor lock is not going to be very useful, but the sprint ability will be extremely useful for getting past difficult situations and getting out of difficult situations. So I really recommend that you stick with the sprint ability throughout the entire match. Anytime you pass up a health pack, give it a shot, see if you need to pick it up and use it. The reason being is that you don't have the ability to see your armor, and you never know when you need a health pack and when you don't. Now here, you're going to want to give somebody the target locator if they know what they're doing. You don't want anybody to miss. Because the thing with these wraiths are you have to lock directly on the wraith with the target locator in order to take it down. Alright, if you just kind of hit near the wraith, it's not going to go down. Okay, you need a direct shot to destroy the wraith. Now the important thing to remember here is you don't want to destroy or even damage the second wraith. You need to hijack the second wraith. This is very, very important to do. It's the only way that you can get through the center part of the mission is by hijacking the wraith, okay? Now, you want to destroy the first wraith with a target locator, and then the next thing you need to do is just be very patient and wipe out all of the other Covenant. There's a bunch of grunts, there's an elite here, and really the only way you can get rid of this elite is to assassinate him. I've tried a million other ways. You just have to assassinate the elites. Once you have destroyed all the Covenant forces, try to use a DMR if you possibly can to shoot the gunner out of the wraith. Once you've done that, have somebody hop in the gunner's seat. The elite will jump out of the wraith, and then you can assassinate him. Have somebody standing by. So one person take the wraith. The other person should be in the wraith gunner chair. The other person can drive the warthog with a marine in the gunner seat of the warthog. Now, I hope that I've given you some good tips to get things started, but I have 3 other videos with a lot of other critical information you don't want to miss. Make sure to check out all 3 videos. This is Halo Reach Tutor. Please leave a comment, give a thumb up, and subscribe. Check out my channel for the other 3 videos, plus a lot of other fantastic videos with lots of tips and tricks. Thanks for watching, folks. I'll see you next time.